Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 7th episode. This, I believe it would be.
Yeah.
7th or 8th?
7th. No, it's already 7th.
All right. Oof. Wow. On our 7th. We're going to do something for our 10th.
Yeah, we should.
We should. Yeah.
Confetti,
Yeah.
fireworks, internal.
Yeah. Old
Sparklers.
Spanish. Old Spanish. Todo en español. No, for this episode, I want to talk about facing fears. And how, I know a couple of episodes prior, we talked about how do we deal with stress, daily stress, right? And embarrassing moments came up, right? But this time around is how do we deal with fears? What are some of our fears? They can be from fears that you're like, really? Like, I'm afraid of gum. Ooh, I don't know.
I wonder what the name of that is.
I'm still afraid of the dark at my 28 years old, right? So, or they can be fears of, I'm afraid of spiders. And how have you dealt with that? Or is that something you
I'm afraid to be alone.
Me. I don't want to die alone all by myself with 10 cats. Or in my case, it would be 10 dogs because I don't really enjoy cats. But who knows? Maybe at that age, hey, everything goes. Anything goes. As long as I'm not by myself.
Oh my God.
Now that you mention that, do you have a fear? And I want you to say two. A fear that it's like,
Come on.
It's like nonsensical, and a fear that legit. It's a fear that, hey, I can't. But how have you faced it?
I think they're connected. Yes, there's the common things like I'm afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of insects. Lula knows this because I do not kill spiders at work or anywhere for that matter.
Yo soy la matadora de arañas.
I've jumped out of a moving vehicle that I was driving. Sorry, Dad. Rest in peace. I jumped out of a moving vehicle where he was he was upset with me for like a week because there was a bee in the car. And so, yeah, I do think those things are irrational, but
that's the word, irrational. Yeah.
I have a fear of dying. That
Wow.
is the core of my fears.
Right.
And I realize that everything stems from that. So down to like, why am I afraid of drowning? Because I'm afraid to die. Why am I afraid of the spider? Because I'm afraid that it's going to...
I'm so sorry. So I thought you were afraid of water, not actually drowning.
No, I'm afraid of drowning.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid of drowning because, okay, quick story. Years ago when I was like 8 or 9, maybe that's when, oh my God, maybe she's the reason why I'm afraid of dying. Oh my God, guys, sorry, I'm having
an epiphany right now. You're seeing it, guys.
I just realized, because I
seeing
used
it.
to be such an adventurous child, and I feel like everything changed after this situation. So years ago, there was a pool party that we went to. It was family, friends, and so on. And I didn't know how to swim, but I was adventurous. I didn't have fear. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm gonna go inside the pool with everyone, even with like my church clothes. Like I didn't even have swim clothes, so I was in there. And there was a woman who was teaching the kids how to swim, but she wasn't certified, and so her method was like just dunk your head. Like she kept pushing us like up and down into the water, and so I'm just like, ugh. Like, I'm just literally getting into the water, and to the point that I couldn't breathe anymore. And I don't think she realized, like, I don't want to say she was she was trying to kill me, but in a way, there. Like she was. And so it got to a point that I got so much chlorine in my system that I had to be taken to the emergency room. Oh. And it was terrible. Like, sorry for this
that
being,
escalated.
And starting graphic or disgusting. I was throwing up so much phlegm because of how much chlorine was in my system. And so I had to use steroid inhalers. They had to take x-rays. It was really bad because I couldn't breathe.
Wait. And I'm sorry. Question. Did you develop your asthma since then?
I did. I developed, I started using inhalers after that. Oh my God, everything comes down to this one source. I feel like there's someone that's viewing is like, you could sue. No. So yeah, like I couldn't. I was like ronca for a couple of
Yeah.
days. I think even weeks. I had chest pain for a couple of weeks. It was really bad. And so obviously after that, mind you, in that same pool party, my niece was drowning. So you had a lot of things going on, you know. Definitely we weren't very supervised, and the person that was supervising wasn't
dunking
certified. She was dunking kids. I think her method was very like old school, like I the way I chat, and you know,
Okay.
you're gonna learn, right? You know, you're gonna sink or swim.
That's how I learned. Yeah.
And so like for me, I think that started a whole host of fears.
Wow.
You know, and so, you know, down to like little things of like I'm afraid for spiders. Like I'm afraid of spiders because I'm afraid that it's going to bite me. I'm going to find out that I'm allergic to it and it's going to kill me. Or I'm going to have a little spider go into my ear and it's going to lay its eggs and I'm going to have webs in my brain because someone in India, I read this, they had brain surgery and they had webs all over their skull. And so like that's where the like the irrational fear is the fear of the spider, right? Mm-hmm. But the core fear is the fear of dying. Mm-hmm. And it's because like I think even though I have my faith and even though I shouldn't, like I have this struggle and this inner war of like, why are you afraid of dying? Like you're supposed to be securing your faith and you know where you're going to go, right? I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of this ending soon, you know? And so I think that's my core fear. So before we go any further, what is your irrational fear? And do you think you can detect your core fear?
Wow. Man, I thought it was going to be a superficial conversation, but it's turning out to be a...
No, I literally had an epiphany right now.
Rather emotional ride. I don't think I have an irrational fear.
Can't really see you afraid of
I'm not afraid of water. I'm not afraid of insects. I'm disgusted by them, which is why I kill them. But I'm not afraid of them. I mean, bees is one of those things where I respect them. I was like, let's just be still. But I'm not afraid of them.
Dogs?
Mira, yeah. But I wouldn't say it's irrational. Because I got bit by, like right here, I still have my marquita. I got bit when I was a child by a dog. So, and in Mexico, unfortunately, I don't know, I'm not sure now because I think Mexico has gotten better because they're trying to be like America, where dogs are family. But when I was growing up, there were street dogs everywhere. So imagine, like, I was traumatized by the dog biting me, and then I would come out, and it was dogs everywhere. I hated playing outside because it was just like, it was a war zone for me all the time. So I would say dogs, but now not so much. I feel like I'm trying to get over that. I think now it's more of like...
I mean, you're pretty good with Stella.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with small dogs. I think big dogs, they tend to creep me out a little bit more. Or like, if that thing were to like launch at me, I don't know what I would do.
Which still is very, it's rational.
So I don't think it's an irrational fear. It's still a fear nonetheless, but I'm not sure if I can point out the core of it. Because I don't think I'm afraid of them, of dying out of a bite or them biting me. I think I'm more of like, I'm afraid of maybe being bitten and live with that.
Right.
With that, like...
What it did to your face?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think I used to be afraid of heights. I used to be afraid of heights. But somehow it's starting to... I'm not bougie. So there's not a lot of places where I can experience, heights. So I don't think that's a common fear for me or a common stressor. However, soon I'll be doing skydiving. I'll tell you how that goes with my fear of heights or no fear of heights.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, obviously I'm scared of a lot of things, but I don't think they bring
that, like, you don't feel frozen.
Yeah, I think I'm more of I act. I like to,
You like to face your fear.
I like to face my fears. I like to fight. I like to fight it off. And I mean, obviously, sometimes it's not a good thing. For example, at church, when we have a person that we've never seen him before, and I'm very prompt to open the doors.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna face it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna face it. And obviously at first I remember you had a hard time with that. You're like, dude, ¿por qué abriste la puerta? Like, you don't know this guy. I don't know this guy, you know. I remember that one time with the guy with the bike. I don't know. He hasn't come.
But
he came that one first COVID year, and I was very nonchalant about like opening the door. And I remember we had a sort of like an argument because it's like, dude, like he's way taller than you and me, and like you were out there talking to him for like 30 minutes. I didn't know what to do, you know. So that one time, after that I thought, that is true. Why did I just, and then that's the thing. I see someone in the parking lot, and my automatic reaction is to go and open the door and be like, what's up, you know?
But see, you also grew up with like, you're gonna face and you're gonna defend yourself, whereas for me it was like protect and hide at all costs.
Yeah, right.
So there is that playing into it.
Yeah. So and then you know, I had a fear of driving when I moved to university, because I went to LA for university, Cal State LA. So I had a lot of fear on the freeway. Prior to that, I had never taken the freeway. I had been driving for like 4 years and never went on the freeway.
What about
for those long distances?
I think it's the top fear. It's public speaking. Did you ever feel fear for public speaking?
Yes. I would say, pero luego I faced it, and I purposefully took a public speaking class, and I really enjoyed it. I found out that I like it. Or rather, I wouldn't say I like it, but I can try to enjoy while doing it, while doing a presentation or whatever.
Yeah.
So I faced it.
So I'm getting at that you're like, you probably had the fear of heights, the fear of, anything really early on. And that's probably when you actually faced frozen feelings, but you had to deal with it, or you faced it right away, that now you're okay in a sense.
Yeah, I think so, yes. And I think because of my person, I'm very impatient. And so for me, for example, going back to the guy showing up at church, I can't see myself to just wait patiently there to see if he's gonna come out of the car or leave. To me, it's like, no, I need to go and see que quiere, like what's his deal? Porque I'm impatient. I don't think it's so much about bravery more than it is about being impatient. Y yo soy así, like, pues si de una vez, if it's gonna hit me, pues que me pegue de una vez, like, And so I found myself doing that a lot in college, and they were, because sometimes I had to take night classes, and in college, in Ventura College, and in university, and a lot of the times I was afraid of walking, to my car by myself. But there were other times where I would see other girls, and like I had an incident where I saw a guy actually, going after a girl. And instead of like walking with her and, sort of make it like, oh, we're friends, blah, 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 blah. I looked at him kind of like, what are you doing? And I started walking with her, and I told her, he's been following you. I'm going to take you to your car. So I took her to her car, and I was faced with, now I'm going to go back to my car by myself, and this guy's still there. So how is this going to work? But so sí me dio miedo, but again, I was like, pues de una vez. Like, if he's gonna hit me, I'll hit back.
You'll fight back.
I'll fight back. And I was even excited about it. I was even like, obviously now I'm thankful that nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But I remember feeling that adrenaline, that like, okay, like if si va a haber golpes, I'm ready for it. And like, you don't know me. You don't know me, dude. And no. As soon as she got in his car, he just went like that y se fue. So it was the girl, Yeah, and I don't know why he didn't go for me, which I'm thankful. Thank God. I shouldn't have this.
She's like, I don't know why he didn't go for me. Like, why would you want him to?
I'm telling you that back. En ese punto, I was so driven of with like. I don't know.
Come at me, bro.
It excites me. It excites me to be in situations where I can
Defend yourself.
Defend myself. Yeah.
I see.
Y yeah, so I'm not sure if like I said, I'm afraid of things. I'm afraid of dying by myself. La verdad. You said it right now jokingly. But I am afraid of not, you know, like being I mean, como te digo, I'm comfortable being by myself. I enjoy my own company. I think I've done but I've done that for so many years, and to the point where it'd be nice to enjoy the rest of my life with someone else. Yeah, and mind you, it's a third of my life. Probably now at this point at my age is not so much a third of my life, but it's a third of someone's lives to enjoy on your own. Ay no, se me hace triste eso. So every once in a while sí me da esta idea de que, man, what if I do end up alone? I mean, obviously I know que no va a ser así, and I have faith que I will find that right man, and I'll have a family, because that's my heart's desire, to have children y todo eso, y un husband, y morirme con él y todo eso, you know.
Marilu's future husband, can you hurry it up?
Please. Pero a lot of the time, see, I think that's more of a core fear than actually dying. I think
it's the being alone.
The being
not
alone,
having that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I'd rather die. I think I'm
serious. I'm over here trying not to die. I'll do anything just to not die, you know? So, like, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, you know? Like,
you know what it is I think we've been lying to women, and by women I mean myself included, that career is so important, that you can be by yourself, that you can be this boss girl and boss woman and blah, 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 blah. And we're not realizing that we were created to desire kids. We were created to desire that relationship, that marriage. If I'm being honest, marriage, not just a relationship, marriage. We were created to desire that, and to want that, and to be in marriage, to be in, you know, and to have children.
Yeah.
So I do think that for me, whenever I feel like I don't have a rasp on that desire, that and that design, that I have it just ingrained in me, it does make me fearful. Eso sí me da miedo. Pero the rest, everything else to me is like, I can face it. I'll do it. And
for me, it's been hard. You know, like I know that it's irrational, some of the things that I deal with. You know, like I know I was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it up because it is embarrassing to admit, but like I could not swallow pills until I was 21. And again, it's all coming down to the core fear of like, I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid that I'm going to start choking, and then it's going to prevent me from breathing. And, you know, that also has a lot to do with my mom. My mom never gave us gummy bears or gummy worms because she was afraid we would choke. So I know where that stems from. But like, still the fear of dying was there. And yeah, I remember, you know, it was due to like a cancer scare that I had to take medication that the pill was not able to be smashed, or it wasn't like a capsule that you could, you know, still open take. It was a gel, and I had to swallow it. And again, the fear of dying from the pill was less scary than the fear of dying from the cancer. So it was like, I have to do whatever I can to survive, right? And so, you know, that's what pushed me to learn how to swallow pills. And, you know, most recently, you know, I've had to do certain things. You know, shout out to Marilu's mom for selling health products and cleanses, you know, that unfortunately sell really big capsules. So I have pushed myself to face them, to face my fears. You know, I mean, we went to Cancun last year, and I don't know how, but I managed to stay afloat and swim with dolphins. And like the whole time, like I am feeling the, like, you know, my heart is like, you know, that like if you just, you know, start freaking out right now, like I was more afraid of drowning than the actual, really, if you think about it at the core, they're wild animals. Like in a moment, they could just, attack or whatever. Then the dolphins that was brushing around my legs, like my thing was like, just keep doing this.
You couldn't even enjoy the dolphin.
I was just like, okay, it's there. I'll put your hand. Oh, I'm sinking. So like that in itself was more exhilarating. And then we did this thing where, and if you go to Cancun, if you go to Xcaret, they have this kind of like what are they called? Like, I don't know what it's called, but they sell you this experience where you put a helmet on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not scuba diving, but basically what it is that like if you put something like really heavy over your head, it can keep a pocket of air. I mean, for those that the science behind it. So there's air inside the helmet and it's heavy enough to stay on you to the point that you're underwater, but it's not like it's oxygen, you're wearing your swimsuit and everything and you're walking underwater.
I did that experience when we went to, yeah.
But if you literally bend, the water will go in. Like literally my nephew, Jonah, he was just like texting from like in his helmet and then he'd bring his phone down. Like, and my head was like, oh my, like just so that the phone, like he could kind of see what he was doing and then he'd bring it down. And it's like, if I put my hand and touch my face, it'd be wet and then I could bring it like down. That was scary. I can honestly say that was scary. And the whole time again, it's just like, you're living in this moment. You're down here. And like, again, like don't freak out, and it's just like, I'm proud that I did those things because I know that I am afraid of drowning. I am afraid of dying, but I know that in order for me to live a fulfilled life, I cannot allow for this to dictate my experiences. I mean, and a lot of it had to do with my sister-in-law. She was swimming with dolphins. She was swimming in the cenotes with a 1-year-old baby. And she's literally just like... And I'm over here holding on to the rope, just trying to like stay afloat. And I'm just like, dude, like, are you kidding me? If this isn't like goals right now, She's literally holding the baby and she's swimming and then there's the dolphin and I'm over here like, so like, yeah, definitely like part of it is like surroundings, like I married a man that's like, no, like I am not going to give you sympathy or pity for being afraid of it. Like you have to face it, So in your case, given that you don't have a lot of fears and you really just have the core fears, how would you say that, like for someone like me, I'm asking a question as someone who has a lot of fears in a sense, like, what do you think, one, has made you get to this point that you don't have a lot of fears, like a lot of irrational fears? And how do you manage to overcome a fear to the point that you're now here?
I think for me, it's two things. The first one is who you surround yourself with is important. For example, when I'm with you, I feel like I'm your protector with the
spiders
and everything.
Least.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a protective side of me, my nurturing side comes out, and then I'm gonna kill the spider. I'm gonna kill whatever. Right? That doesn't mean I'm not scared of it. It just means that I have someone else needs before my own in a way. So which is why I think once you have kids, a lot of that will go away.
I hope.
Like, so
you go do it, baby. You go kill it.
I hope so too. But and I'll tell you why. Because when I'm with my sisters, my sisters are more than I am. They're less scared of a lot of things, more than I am, if that makes sense. So for example, when we go to Mexico, they take care of me. I'm the pollito with my sisters, and so even my youngest sister, who's the baby, she even becomes overprotective over me. So that's in that scenario, I'm the one that they're all taking care of. Like, Lula se para acá, y Lula no camines para allá, y Lula vente para acá, y Lula, ¿por qué te paraste ahí? Things like that. So in that scenario, my protective side doesn't come out.
Right.
My switch is okay. I want to be babied. I want to be taken care of. So which again, I think is why once you have kids, that would probably come out. Hopefully, hopefully. And then the other one is, I think for me is not so much the not having fear part. It's being brave, I think. I'm still afraid. It's just I'm more afraid of not doing anything, I would say. I'm more afraid of, like I said, because I'm impatient, I'm more afraid of staying there and waiting to see what happens. I just want to get it over with.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, just get it over with. And I've realized that because whenever we go to Six Flags and it's time to go on Goliath, I hate the
Getting up there.
The getting up there. I hate it. And every time we're on our way, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. This is my last time. This is my last time. This is my last time I get on this. And I'm having like this battle with myself. ¿Por qué dije que sí? ¿Por qué? Why am I here? Like,
well,
why?
everyone's like, woo!
Yeah, and I'm becoming very desperate. I become very impatient. I'm like, ya, que ya baje, ya, please.
And it's
to the point where I'm upset. I'm angry at myself at that point. And then we get there, and it literally lasts 3 seconds. And to me, every time I go over that scenario, it's like, tanto build up para 3 seconds. How is that equivalent? How is that,
like in life in general?
Yeah, in general. So obviously, yes, I still do that whenever I go on Goliath, but I take that in life. Do I really need to do all the build up for just those 3 seconds, or for that, for that memory that's probably not going to last me, or it's not going to matter later on?
Yeah.
So I take that mentality and okay, pues, I don't know what is the scary thing right now. Like, I can't even think of it.
How would you say that, you are, I mean, I don't know if this is too personal. What would you say right now you're currently combating the fear of like not being alone, or the fear of like dying alone? Si se puede decir.
I think it goes back to what we were talking about in the last episode. I remind myself that God is in control. I remind myself that that because that's a need He created us for. It can't just happen.
Yeah.
Like not that it has to happen, because again, si Dios no lo quiere, pues entonces no va a pasar. Pero because He ingrained that in us and He designed us for that. Why is He going to withhold that from me?
Yeah.
So I think that's how I try to convince myself that, hey, Dios está trabajando. It's just you don't see it, and you might not feel it all the time. And okay, this is gonna sound very obnoxious of me, but I do think I'm a fairly good woman. Yes, con mis defectos y mis cositas, and I still have to work on a lot of things, but I wouldn't say I'm not marriageable material. Right. I wouldn't say I'm not.
In other words, you have hope.
In other words, if other people are getting married,
surely I could too.
Surely I could too.
If toxic Kez could get married,
yes,
¿por qué no? You know.
I think what I'm saying is que para ¿cómo dice ese saying? Siempre hay un descosido para un roto, o siempre hay un roto para un descosido.
I've never heard that in my life.
Well, for those who have, siempre hay un roto para un descosido, or whatever. So meaning that there's always someone out there. Someone out there that would want me, and I will want them. So, porque again, I'm in my head. Again, I'm not perfect. Yeah. I'm not this like, oh my God, beautiful walking monument. No. Yo no soy una modelo, right? Clearly. But no, o sea, no tengo...
Like the fear of not being, or the fear of being alone cannot be enough for you to not have some kind of hope in your life.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's even in that, it's not an irrational fear where I'm just constantly thinking voy a estar sola, voy a estar sola.
Yeah.
I think if I were to think that way, I would have gotten into so many relationships already.
Yeah.
Failed
Just
relationships
out of,
I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
And there's so many women and men that do that. They go into relationships porque no quieren estar solos, porque they can't seem themselves by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not my case. I'm not that desperate yet. I think to me, más bien, it works the other way because I have no clue. I have no point of reference because I've never been in a relationship. It sometimes scares me to think, maybe I'll no, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with ending up with the first boyfriend. That's not what I'm saying. Pero I feel like there's more potential for me to fall in a relationship that might not be a good relationship out of the need to be in a relationship. I'm not sure if I explain myself. So I think that another fear, maybe another. Now that we're talking about another fear is to fall for someone and then realize through time that you
missed the red flags.
I missed the red flags, or I missed or it was just my desire to be in that relationship was so much more than actually knowing that person, actually, finding out who this person was. And now I'm in a relationship where we're very different. We're very, very different. Y todo por querer estar en una relación.
Yeah.
Nada más. It was just that. And so I think that scares me. It scares me to keep liking the idea of liking someone. And then be met with someone that thinks the same way. Someone that likes the idea of liking me. Y ahí tenemos un revoltijo, you know? So, however, the way I try to combat that is to reassure myself that even in that situation, if I were to run into that situation, I'll ask God, or I'm asking right now currently God for wisdom to help me discern if this person is someone I liking, or I really like. I like the essence of this person. I like who this person is. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I think that, what I resonated with as far as facing your fears is the buildup, not being worth it once you have the experience. And I think that's what's been getting me through a lot of me getting over some fears. I think in the last 2 years since I got married, I've faced a lot of fears. I definitely still have a lot to go. I'm a hypochondriac, and so sometimes I have a headache and I'm like, oh, I'm having a stroke. So yeah.
Hold on. Let me make a bracket here because it happened this week. So she's telling me she's feeling like a heartburn sensation here, in the pit of her stomach. And then she's saying, yeah, and it feels like empty and whatever, right? So she researched it. And there were two options. There were like 2 or 3 options before the one she decided to go with. The first one, and then the one I still think you had, was heartburn. That's it. Influx, right?
Yeah.
Like
acid reflux.
Acid reflux. That's it. Acid reflux, and then the other one I think was indigestion.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And then there was one, I don't even remember the name. I think it was I don't know.
It was glyco something.
Dalpemia? Dixelpia?
I know it started with a G, and then there was a stomach ulcer, and then there was cancer. Cancer's always in there, and then it was like gastrointestinal condition that like I wouldn't even hear her.
The names just kept getting more ridiculous to say. But she couldn't stay with the first 2. She couldn't just say, oh, you know what? It's just acid reflux. Or maybe I'm indigested. Like, it's just indigestion. No, she had to work with the worst one, with the third one, which was, I'm on my way to the hospital. Like, it's just, like, dude, this is ER moment. I'm
my
like,
appendix person.
Yes, and it's just, yeah.
Okay, for the record, okay, I am getting better. Okay, so
That is
I get
true.
okay. I guess the way that I see it is like, yes, I still have my quirks, and there's still areas that I'm like, all right, that's irrational. You know, like for example, you know, like a couple weeks ago, I was like having a lot of dizziness, and that could be hormones. I could be, you know, like depending on the time of the month, it could be, hey, I've been exercising, and so I'm probably low on iron. But I think it's like, it's a stroke, you know, vertigo. I know I've used Q-tips, and so I probably like, you know, burst my eardrum, and so now it's affecting my balance, and now I'm gonna like hit the ground because I'm, you know, I feel spinning, you know, and Lula's over here you like you're fine, you know, but then I'll have a mareo and I'm just like, oh my god, me voy a morir, you know, and I'm like, I'm so afraid of like dying that it's like it almost doesn't even come to me because I'm so like, no, even if it came, like it's not gonna happen. So like I get it, and like sure enough, I started taking my iron because I've always been iron deficient, and I've been feeling good, and I totally forgot about it.
Quick fix. But you know, however, I'll say this as well. Again, just to see how on the extreme we are. So you do that, and on the other hand, I feel like if something were to happen to me, like if I were to have, and God forbid, but if I were to have cancer, or if I were to have, you know, even my appendix, let's not go as far as cancer, or, you know, all that, but just my appendix, I would not notice because to me it's like, oh, it hurts, al rato se me quita, you know, and I don't even think much of it. Like I'm pretty sure a couple weeks ago I was having problems with my appendix, and because no me dejaba dormir, me dolía bastante, me apretaba, I would push there and it was estaba inflamado y me dolía. What did I do? A rato me voy a dormir, que al cabo se me quita. And I mean, it went away, but what I'm saying is that like tiene que haber un middle ground.
Yeah.
Porque on one end,
you can't be always dying.
You can't be always dying. But on the other end, ¿cómo me voy a dar cuenta when I am having something? Si todo el tiempo es like, nah, ¿pa qué ir a...
And you have a very, very high tolerance for pain.
Yeah.
You know? And so there's that also.
That's true. And so, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think I've done a health checkup in like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
I haven't done one. You know, the most I do is whenever I donate blood, if everything seems okay,
you're good.
I'm good. No me dijeron que tengo nada, because they're supposed to tell you, like if they see something in your blood that is concerning,
yeah,
they're supposed to tell you. So nunca me hablan, all right, I'm fine. And then I've done some blood work in Tijuana, and again, everything seems to work. Okay, good. But it's been quite a while since I would say even 10 years since I've done a full-on physical checkup. So
definitely, you know, before, you know, obviously I went into my hypochondriac
going back.
I definitely think despite of everything I have improved, and part of what has been helping is, yes, surroundings, definitely having people around me that have been like not giving me like that coddling like cushion of like, you know, no, it's okay if you don't want to do it, it's fine, you know. And it's like, yes, when it comes to like things like, you know, spiders, I know that that's a fear that I probably could face, and I just take advantage, you know, because Lula's there and I know that she's gonna, you know, take care of it, and sometimes I can help because I already burst into tears. But you know, for bigger things, you know, like swimming and like traveling and like, I mean, in a couple of months, we're going to go to Europe and we're going to have 6 flights, you know, like I had a fear of flying. And to me, it's like, I'm definitely going to continue to push myself because like you said, you know, all of this buildup just to experience something that at the end is going to only end up as a memory. And it's what I went through. Like now the swimming with dolphins is a memory. Mm-hmm. Us having those helmets underwater is a memory, and all of that I could have prevented. I could have probably been like, no, I'm not going to do it, and I would have never even had that experience. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that the more that I expose myself, it's going to help. As far as the fear of dying, I definitely think I just with time. I know Joel is always like, if it's your time, babe, you're gonna go. Like, I don't understand why you lose sleep over this, you know? And it's like, yeah, but I don't want to die. He's like, honestly, like, what better way to die, babe, than with me? And in my head, it's like, but I don't want to die, not even with you. You know, so I know I definitely still have like a lot to work on, but like I like what you said about, you know, even though that is a core fear for you, you can't prevent yourself from having an experience, or rather you're more afraid of not doing it or not having that experience than actually dealing with the core fear. And so for me, it's like I should apply that. I should apply I should rather have a fear of walking away from this place and not having taken the experience than death.
Yeah. But obviously, no, you don't want to put yourself in situations where there's a potential possibility of you dying.
Yeah,
definitely that's not a good thing. Yeah. I think one could say it's almost unchristian, right? Speaking, I'll be doing skydiving in a couple weeks. Anyway, but I do lead my life in that sense of like I rather do than regret not having done anything, because I think that regret is something that just eats you out. It eats you out of life, versus when you do something, you're like, and you find out that was really scary. I don't think I'll ever do it. At least now you know I won't ever engage myself in that. But had you not done it, you would always question yourself, man, was I capable of? Could I have been brave enough to do it?
Yeah.
And oftentimes what happens is that you are brave enough. You find yourself being brave enough to do something, and that gives you courage for next time. And that gives you, I mean, Jordan Peterson said something very interesting. He says that as a clinical therapist, like himself, what you do with people with fears is that you make them face their fear little by little. However, you make them do that on their own. Mm-hmm. They have to be willing. And I think a lot of people are not willing to do that. And so the willing part is what gets people.
Yeah.
That's where people tend to fail, where it's like, no, I can't. I really can't. And they put themselves in this mindset of no puedo.
And you really, the mind is so powerful that people are like to the point that I'm not going to move from this spot because I've made myself to believe that I can't. Mm-hmm. And that to me, I can honestly say is I have a fear for that. I know that I've met people who like, they do not lead. It's not even just a fulfilled life, a normal life, because they genuinely cannot overcome their own mind. Eso me da más miedo de
Eso nos debería de dar miedo a todos.
Like, no, come on. Like, no puedes estar así.
No. Y es que no vives. No vives y no dejas vivir a los demás that are surrounding you.
Yeah.
Because they have to be aware of you. And somehow you end up affecting everyone. You end up affecting those who love you and those who care for you. Porque who's going to share your fear? You know, who's going to share that of like, okay, entonces no lo hagas. No, si no quieres, no. Mm-hmm. So yes, and actually I think it's a very important lesson. I don't have kids, but I think it's very important to teach that to children, that you need to face dangerous situations in a
somewhat controlled environment.
In a controlled environment, and that's where you as a parent come in. All right, I'm gonna let my child, jump off whatever the sofa or whatever, but I'm watching, I'm there, instead of, no, ni te subas a la mesa, ni te subas al couch, ni nada. No brinques porque, So
you're always like, in life.
Yeah, exactly. And so you start becoming that as an adult, and now you have a child that's very afraid of life or anything, and you as a parent afraid of that child doing anything. And so, you have now adults that they can't seem themselves to do anything
or function,
work, drive, be in a relationship, be a wife, be a mother, be a sister, be a daughter, porque todo el tiempo es I can't. Yeah. So definitely, guys, be mindful of your fears, your irrational fears, your core fears.
Yeah.
Those fears that are everyday fears, and depending on how you deal with them, Obviously, on one end, you have people that are very brute and they're very forceful about it. And I'm not saying that's the right way. And on another end, you have people that have done
More
it slowly.
cautious.
Yeah, you're cautious. Taking your time. But definitely, I think what we can both agree is two things. Surround yourself with people that will take care of you in those situations and push you to overcome those situations and push you in a loving way. Not like, okay, vete a nadar, and then, no. Like push you and, hey, I'm going to be here holding your hand, or I'm going to, let's both dunk in, let's both, swim and whatever.
No te vas a morir si lo haces.
Let's do it together. And two, really think about how, like, what would be worse for you as a person, having not done it or having done it and realized it wasn't for you? I think for me is having not done it, whatever it is, having not experienced something out of fear. I think that would be worse than experiencing and then realizing, hey, maybe that's not it. Or experiencing, boy, I like the water. Boy, do I really enjoy heights, and I enjoy flying, and I enjoy
traveling now, yeah.
And now I find myself having, some level of confidence every time I face something that I didn't think I would face. So, yes, definitely.
And like, if you're anyone like me, like, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to not have started off brave. But it's so worth it once you start exposing yourself to things, and really ask yourself, like, why are you letting this dictate your life? Why are you allowing it to now, like, I just can't, because I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like we're all going to die. So
si el Señor te quiere llevar, va a ser tu tiempo.
At the end of the day, we have to go on the deep end and really push ourselves to do it. So
yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed our podcast today. It was a quick and simple topic, but we hope that we encourage you guys to just be more open to things that maybe you're preventing yourself from experiencing. And that could be anything from heights to just do that project that you've been like keeping yourself from, and you're like, I don't want to tell anyone, or I don't want to put this out or write, or whatever it is that you're afraid of, even afraid of what people think. Push yourself and put yourself out there.
Yeah. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with getting a cat, okay? or a dog. Hey, to each their own. I'm just saying, for me, that would not be liable. But okay.
Alrighty, guys. We'll see you guys.
Bye, guys. God bless.